So welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily MCQ Practice. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs through a set of 4 to 5 MCQs. Now, let me apologize up front. I haven't been regular with this lecture series for past few days, but that was because of a few technical glitches. Now those technical glitches have been sorted out, and from now onwards, from today onwards, you will receive lectures related to this series and our other series as well on time, okay, without any delay. All right. Okay, so today we'll be covering the current affairs of 6 September 2024, and we'll be covering those current affairs through a set of 4 to 5 MCQs. So I won't take up more of your time, much of your time. I would straight away jump to question number 1. So let's start. Consider the following statements regarding Law Commission of India. It is a statutory commission that makes recommendations to the government on legal matters. The commission is usually chaired by a retired judge of Supreme Court or a High Court. Since independence, 22 law commissions have been appointed so far, which have submitted a total of 289 reports. How many of the above statements are correct? All right. Now look, recently the term for 22nd Law Commission got finished. It finished on 31st August. Therefore, Government of India actually gave a notification or released a notification for the constitution of 23rd Law Commission. All right. Now, what does Law Commission, what is the job of Law Commission? So, Law Commission is basically constituted to advise the government, to make recommendations to the government on various laws in India, whether those laws need any improvement, whether some redundant laws need to be repealed, or any other legal matter that government needs consultation on. All right. Now remember, Law Commission is not a statutory commission. It is a non-statutory commission which is made by a government notification in the official gazette. It is not made by any law of parliament. Okay, it is just made by government notification in the official gazette. So it is a non-statutory commission that makes recommendations to the government on legal matters. All right. Now the commission is usually chaired by a retired judge of Supreme Court or a High Court. Generally, the word usually or generally is important over here. But if government wants, they can also make a serving judge the chairman of this law commission. But generally, it's a retired judge. All right. So this is correct. Now, since independence, 22 law commissions have been appointed so far, which have submitted a total of 289 reports. That is absolutely correct. This is also correct. Now, let me tell you an additional fact that the term of this 23rd Law Commission is 3 years. So, its term is going to expire in 2027. All right. 2024, 25, 26. Yeah. So, term is going to expire in 2026, basically. So, it has a term of 3 years. Okay. So, only 2 and 3 are correct. The answer to this question would be B. Next question. Which of the following statements regarding Saturn are correct? 1 year on Saturn is equivalent to 29.4 years on Earth. Saturn's rings evolved around 100 million years ago due to collision of two icy moons. Every 13 to 15 years, Saturn's rings disappear when viewed from Earth due to an optical illusion. Alright, select the correct option from below. Now look, Saturn takes around 29.4 years to complete one revolution around the Sun. And Earth takes around 365 days. Right? 1 year. Earth takes 1 year to complete one revolution. Saturn takes 29.4 years. Therefore, 1 year on Saturn is equal to 29.4 years on Earth. So this is correct. Now, it is said that the rings on Saturn, the famous rings around Saturn, they evolved over 100 million years ago, and their evolution was due to the collision between two icy moons. When these two moons collided, fragments of rocks, ice, frozen material got spread around, and they formed the rings of Saturn. So this is also correct. Every 13 to 15 years, Saturn is aligned according to the Earth in such a way that for at least 1 month, the rings of Saturn disappear when viewed from Earth. It is not because those rings disappear actually. It is because when viewed from the Earth, the position of Saturn is such that those rings do not appear. We cannot see them from a telescope. And that is why every 13 to 15 years, when viewed from Earth, Saturn's rings disappear. Now, this optical illusion is going to come on March 2025 next. Okay, and that was in the news. Basically, that is why Saturn was in the news. So this is also correct. All statements are correct. The correct option is D. Question number 3. Consider the following statements regarding WTO Goods Trade Barometer. It is the world's leading composite indicator released on an annual basis for global merchandise trade. A score above 100 means positive growth in merchandise trade, and a score below 100 means negative growth rate. Okay, which of the above statements are correct? Now look, WTO's Goods Trade Barometer is basically a number which actually tells you about the situation of merchandise trade, global merchandise trade in the world. Look, international trade happens in goods as well as services. Goods Trade Barometer actually measures the international trade in goods only. Okay, so it is the world's leading composite indicator for global merchandise trade. That is absolutely correct. Okay, but remember, this is released by WTO not on an annual basis, but basically on a quarterly basis. So in 1 year, this goods trade barometer is released 4 times every quarter. Okay, so this is false. Now remember, basically goods trade barometer score is just a score. Okay, let's suppose that the global trade in merchandise was growing by 6% on an annual basis. Okay, if this quarter global trade grows more than 6%, then there will be a score which would be above 100. If it grows below 6%, then the score goods trade barometer score would be less than 100. So basically, a score above 100 means above trend growth. Look, the trend was 6% growth, but if the growth in this quarter is more than 6%, then that we call it above trend growth. The trend was 6%, right? So the score would be greater than 100. If it would be less than 100, then the score, we say that the growth in global trade is below trend. Okay, it is less than 6%. It's not positive or negative. Okay, score above 100 doesn't mean positive growth. It means above trend growth. Score below 100 means, it doesn't mean a negative growth in minus. No, it means below trend growth. So this is also false, neither 1 nor 2. All right. Question number 4. Consider the following statements regarding the latest Council of Europe's Treaty on AI. It is a legally binding treaty that covers the use of AI systems in both private and public sector. It is expected to be signed by USA, EU, and UK. Violation of the provisions of this treaty would attract punitive sanctions on the signatories. Now, recently, the first ever treaty on AI that is legally binding, okay, first ever legally binding treaty, international treaty, was up for signature. Now, this treaty was released by Council of Europe, and it basically follows a human rights approach to deal with AI systems. Now, it is a legally binding treaty, and it covers the use of AI in both private and public sector. It is being expected to be signed by USA, European Union, and United Kingdom. This is also correct. Now, though this treaty is legally binding, but if any of the members of this treaty violate the provisions of this treaty, this agreement, then there are no punishments provided for in this treaty. There are no punitive sanctions or punitive actions against the signatories. It's just legally binding, but there is no punishment for violation of this legally binding treaty. That is one of the loophole in this treaty. But that is the case. There is no punishment mentioned in this treaty. So this is false. Only 1 and 2 are correct. The option is A. And with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And I hope it has added value to your preparation. Though the MCQs for the days you have missed, okay, MCQs for 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th September would be covered in one single lecture. So don't feel that any of the MCQs for any of the days are missing. I will make sure that those MCQs are also covered so that there is no stoppage to your routine. All right? Okay then. With that out of the way, I'll be signing off. Thank you so much, everyone. And I'll see you next time with next day's MCQs for current affairs. Thank you, everyone.